Gay took over, and his finish was woeful.
It was. So goal kick, and Manchester United come forward. 1-0 their lead. Everton, who will attack towards the noisy Gladys Street end in the second half. Still very much in this. They've actually come back into it very strongly. They've had enough chances easily to not only be level, but be in front.
Yeah, they have, and for better finishing, which has been the story for Everton all season. They could have scored more goals.
McNeil with a foul, just a little foul in centre field. And Rashford's gone down. Clearly the Everton fans here feel that he's gone down. It was Gay actually in with a challenge.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot in that. It is a foul, no question about it, but he stayed down. Thought he'd have been tackled in a worse manner than that.
He's up though, free kick taken. Dallo with a rather laboured step over, but here comes the cross, and it's reached Martial at the back post, who looks to play it in, but the offside flag has gone up. So it's a free kick to Everton. What about Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Leon, this is his 10th start of the season. He obviously had all of those injury problems last season, just 15 starts in the whole of the campaign, which was such a big factor, wasn't it, in their struggles last season to be without a fit and informed Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You're obviously liking what you're seeing here today.
Yeah, I mean, within those 15 starts last season, I'd say, and I wouldn't say he was actually fit for any of them, to be honest. And it took him 2 or 3 games to get going once he came back this season as well. But yeah, he seems right up to speed. The goals will come if he plays the way he's playing, and if he's getting into the positions that he's getting into. Always want deliveries into certain areas, yes, for chances to come, but his all-round build-up play is crucial to this Everton team. The way they have runners from midfield, as you've just seen.
Yeah, he's done well today, everything but the goal. Anana takes this free kick downfield. Ashley Young, left-footed, hooks it away towards the halfway line. Gareth Southgate did mention Calvert-Lewin's name a couple of times during the course of the recent internationals, when we were talking about players who could be the backup to Harry Kane. Ball bounces for Everton. Here's Garner, who turns and plays a left-footed ball, which Mikalenko will do well to keep in play, and he doesn't. He can't. It was McNeil, who played it out to him, and Mikalenko on the twist and the turn couldn't keep it in and throw into Manchester United.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil's not really featured positively enough in the game so far. Most of his moments have been trying to help defensively. He's not been decisive on the ball. He's not been positive enough on the ball, and that was what I think you were hearing. He ran 20 yards back towards his own goal before he attempted a forward pass there, Dwight McNeil.
Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes had to be quick onto that from Lindelof, and in fact 2 Everton men are on him, forcing him down towards the dead ball line, and he has to turn, trying to win a throw-in actually off Doucouré, but didn't get any contact on him, so it's a throw-in to Everton, 10 yards back from the corner flag. Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who plays like this, is certainly in contention. Ollie Watkins did score for Everton today. Very good goal, actually. You'll be able to see that as well. Match of the day 2 later to win the match for Aston Villa at Tottenham. And then Tarkowski slides in to put the ball out of play on the halfway line. Yeah, I'm sure at half-time, which is not too far away, 45 minutes are almost up, we'll hear more on Aston Villa's win at Tottenham. Finished Aberdeen 1, Rangers 1 as well in the early kick-off. I noticed that Bojan Mijovski, who I was watching from Macedonia the other night, scored for Aberdeen this afternoon. And we will as well at half-time also have further reflections on the life and times of Terry Venables. The sad news today, the announcement of the death of the former England manager at the age of 80. And we will be hearing from Gary Lineker and also Darren Anderton, who played so effectively under Terry Venables, as Manchester United with Shaw playing it forward. And it finds its way to the goal scorer, Garnacho. Garnacho turns, plays it forward onto the chest of Young, who had to be away before he touch it away before he was blocked by Garnacho, and Young, and now Garnacho's just kicked the ball away, but not too far, not far enough for a yellow card for that. Might have had a yellow card for the challenge on Young, and the point they're making is that Young's already been booked for a challenge on Garnacho.
Yeah, absolutely, and then the referee wanted it again taken from a different place. It's been a difficult first half for the referee, just to make sure he keeps tempers and emotions in check.
Free kick taken by Pickford. McNeil plays it across, just lifts it forward. Calvert-Lewin gets his head to that. Headed away for Manchester United. Gay on the edge of the box, but his touch not good enough, and Garnacho is able to volley it away downfield. We're in the second minute of added time, so only 30 seconds of the first half to play. Yeah, that's a foul on Harrison. Referee waves the advantage. It comes to nothing because Gay overhits the pass, and Everton, Tarkowski is saying, surely you can take it back, and give the free kick for the challenge on Harrison, and I think he's got a point.
Well, not only should have been free kick, that one was a booking. You know, I've agreed that a number of challenges shouldn't be. Fernandes there knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't want that 1-2 played around him. He put Harrison in the air, and not only the referee not stop it, he also allowed an advantage that wasn't actually there. I'm just trying my best to give him a pat on the back, but he certainly didn't deserve one.
Well, Eric Ten Hag has just made his way up the steps here. He can't go to the dressing room, I think I'm right in saying, during the course of the 90 minutes, but he can communicate with his staff, Mitchell van der Gaag and the rest of the coaches, so I presume that's what he's gone to do. And at half-time, his team lead, the players heading off the pitch. I feel for John Brooks a little here because he is effectively the representative of authority inside this ground, when Everton supporters have made it very plain what they feel about the authority of the Premier League. And Manchester United lead through as good a goal as you'll see in this or any other season from Garnacho early on in the match. They've had their chances, they've not been able to take them. Manchester United have defended well. So Leon Osman, what do you make of all that?
Well, I think Everton were hoping to come out of the traps, use this atmosphere to really get them going within the game, but absolutely outstanding goal from Garnacho, really knocked the stuffing out of what Everton did. It took them about 15-20 minutes to get going after that. When they did, they've started to create opportunities, started to put Manchester United on the back foot, but haven't taken one of the chances that's come their way.
So Everton 0, Manchester United 1. And must just mention that Everton are paying tribute to an Evertonian who has died recently, Dylan Kearns, whose name is on the big screen and this picture, and you can hear the respectful applause that there is inside Goodison.
Yes, absolutely. John, Leon, thank you very much, and our thoughts as well. We've been talking about Terry Venables, but Dylan Kearns as well, to his family as well. Our thoughts are with you. It's been a very sad football day, of course, with the loss of Terry Venables today at the age of 80, and we'll continue to pay tribute to him over the course of the next 15 minutes or so, and then we'll be back to Goodison Park for second half commentary. What a goal from Alejandro Garnacho. To quote John Murray, see it somewhere for goodness sake. 08085 909 693. The lines are open now for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. We will speak to Chris, and Darren Anderton is going to join us live on the programme as well, as I say, to talk more about the life of Terry Venables. All of that after the news with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Steve. The Israeli government says a further 17 hostages have been released by Hamas and returned to Israel. The latest to be freed include 14 Israeli nationals and 3 foreign citizens. There are young children, teenagers and an 84-year-old woman among the group. 39 further Palestinian prisoners are due to be released as part of the deal, which involves a 4-day pause in fighting. Our security correspondent Gordon Carrera has the latest developments.
We are on the third day of it, with one more agreed day to go, which would be tomorrow.
Cadute, trionfi e colpi di scena. Non perdere la WWE. Guardala in contemporanea con l'America con commento originale solo su Discovery Plus. Live e on demand. Riguardala con commento in italiano su D-Max, canale 52.
Seem to have been talking about that, and so it remains possible, but we've not really had a clear indication of what will happen yet. So I think given the way that this has progressed so far, it's often been last minute, there have been delays, there have been changes. I think it's hard to be sure, and we will just have to wait and see what the noises are like, and then whether things actually materialise.
And again, Gordon, today we've seen the release not just of the Israeli hostages, but each day as well there's been the release of foreign passport holders as well. That sits outside the parameters of the deal, and it tends to be confirmed at the last minute. What sort of discussions are going on behind the scenes that enable that to happen?
Yes, that's right. I mean, it's been interesting that every time we've had a number, sometimes 10, 3 or 4, in the last day or two, who've been released alongside it, not Israeli nationals, not technically part of that main deal, but clearly much easier to facilitate that departure at the same time. And it's a reminder really that there are many other countries involved in this and who've been pressing and negotiating for the release of their hostages, and they will have been also working through those mediators, the Qataris and the Egyptians, to try and get those hostages released. The US has also been very heavily involved in trying to get its hostages released. So a lot of different players involved in each of these releases and in the negotiations.
That's Gordon Carrera there, speaking to the BBC's Anna Foster. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been touring the Gaza Strip, where he spoke with Israeli soldiers and he told them nothing will stop us. And following the latest release of hostages, President Biden has been speaking, and he called for the pause in fighting to continue.
Under this deal, fighting in Gaza has now been paused for 3 days. Over that time, 58 hostages have been released, including Thai, Filipino, and Russian nationals. Dozens of families have been reunited. And we worked urgently to take advantage of the pause to surge aid into Gaza. We've moved approximately 200 aid trucks into Gaza each day, loaded with food, water, medicine, fuel, and cooking gas. More is needed, but this deal is delivering life-saving results. Critically needed aid is going in, and hostages are coming out. And this deal is structured so that it can be extended, to keep building on these results. That's my goal, that's our goal, to keep this pause going beyond tomorrow, so that we can continue to see more hostages come out and surge more humanitarian relief into those who are in need in Gaza.
President Biden there, and one of those to be released was a 4-year-old Israeli-American girl, so he was talking about her as well. Of course, we'll bring you all the developments here on 5 Live as they happen through this evening. Just a few other things to tell you about. Tributes are being paid to the former England manager Terry Venables, who's died at the age of 80 after a long illness. Gary Lineker says he was vibrant, charming and witty, and Gareth Southgate describes him as a brilliant man who made people feel special. Venables, who also managed Spurs and Barcelona, will of course be best remembered for taking England to the semi-finals of Euro 96. And the Greek Prime Minister says he's hopeful the Parthenon sculptures known as the Elgin Marbles will be returned to Athens from the British Museum. Kyriakos Mitsotakis is in London, where he'll meet Rishi Sunak and Sakia Starmer.
On BBC iPlayer.
Now, what do we are?
Did it just get cold?
No.
Doctor, you can get the TARDIS back, can't you? Use the Sonic.
If the TARDIS is in danger, it goes away. And it only comes back once the danger is done.
There's something that's so bad the TARDIS ran away.
It's just...
What are they? Doctor! Their time has come. Doctor Who continues next Saturday on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half-time at Goodison Park in Everton's first game since that 10-point deduction. They trail to Manchester United by an amazing Alejandro Garnacho goal to 0, and earlier it finished Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. 08085 909 693 lines open now for 606 to talk about that, maybe to talk about Aberdeen 1, Rangers 1, or to pay tribute to Terry Venables, who has passed away today at the age of 80. Gary Lineker played under him at Barcelona and Tottenham and has paid this tribute.
I personally think he's the best English coach that we've had. I mean, I love Bobby Robson, and he was a wonderful manager, but he didn't have the innovation or the imagination of Terry when it actually came to the coaching side of things. And he was what England needed. Terry came in at a time when we did have good players, but he used them perfectly. And some of his tactics in the matches, particularly during Euro 96, were very thoughtful, imaginative, and he brought the best out, I think, of that England team. And they were incredibly unlucky not to have won that semi-final, and they would, I'm sure, have gone on to win the final if Germany hadn't beaten them in that penalty shootout. And it doesn't matter which player you speak to that's played for Terry, whether it was players probably, you know, way back at Crystal Palace or QPR or Barcelona, all of them would speak incredibly highly of them, not just as a coach, but also as a human being and a lovely, lovely, fun man.
And the pictures of him consoling Gareth Southgate after that missed penalty allude to that, Gary. I wonder, I'm sure many people do as well, how his skill set would have translated to the modern game, because you've used the word a couple of times already, innovative.
Oh, he would have been absolutely fine. In fact, he was a leader in terms of coaching. He was the sort of coach a little bit like Pep Guardiola. Obviously, he didn't quite have the success that Pep had, but the kind of football that he played, you know, the high press, trying to keep possession. Obviously, it was much more difficult in that time because the playing surfaces weren't of the quality that they now are. But I would put him up there in terms of the way he would tactically think about the game. I had so many lunches with him, particularly in Barcelona, where it was the only time ever I had a kind of a friendship off the field with a manager. And we would just talk tactics and football. And he had a huge brain for that. He would have been absolutely comfortable in the modern game or any time in this sport, no question about that. And he was actually, if you think about his managerial career, which was successful anyway, obviously winning La Liga, winning the FA Cup with Tottenham, but he was 2 shootouts away. You know, he would have had to win a final in the Euro 96, but he was 2 shootouts away from, you know, pretty much football immortality. He would have been the first ever coach to have won the European Cup with Barcelona, and he would have been the first ever coach to win the Euros with England. So, you know, he was a little bit unfortunate, and he was that close to being probably considered one of the greatest managers of all time. And I still think personally that he's the best England coach they had, and it was a shame that they didn't really work out a way to stick with him.
That's Gary Lineker speaking to Hugh Ferris. I've just seen this from Brian Robson as well, who coached alongside Venables with both England and Middlesbrough. He said Terry was a brilliant coach to work with. I learned so much from him. Very good tactically, but a great motivator and communicator too. My international playing career had come to an end when he took over as manager, but he brought me back as a coach. It was a brilliant experience at Euro 96. Then later, when I was Middlesbrough manager, we were going through a tough period. I wanted to bring in a top coach. I asked Terry. We made a great partnership. Everyone who worked with Terry will always remember him as someone who loved life and lived it with a smile on his face. Darren Anderson was a huge part of that England team that got to the semi-finals of Euro 96 under Terry Venables, and he's joined us now. Darren, thank you so much for being with us. It's such a sad day. What would you like to say about Terry Venables? Who was he to you?
Wow, where do you start? I mean, honestly, he was like a father figure to me. Took me to Spurs as a youngster, 20 years of age, very naive young boy. Really struggled in my early days at Spurs, but just gave me a belief that I belonged there. I mean, literally, he cared. He cared about everyone that he came in contact with. He was just, we're going to hear so many things about the coach and everything else, and the tactician and the man management, but as a human being, he was the best. He really was. I mean, I remember when I was struggling in those early days, as a youngster, kept coming off and not playing well. I think I had a problem with my groin. I didn't really know what it was. And then we played Everton at home. We're losing 1-0, and I came off again. And, he just said, just go and have a bath. You're fine. And then I went down. I remember sat in the bath almost in tears, and he walked in. Game's still going on. And he just said, hey, what's wrong? And I went, well, I don't know. I didn't really say anything. He went, hey, you're a kid. You're 20 years old. Gaz has done this, been through this. I bought you for next year. This is all a bonus. This is all just growing up. You're going to be absolutely fine. You are an incredible footballer. You're just a youngster. Don't even think about it." He goes, "I think there's something wrong with your groin. We're going to send you off and go and see Dr. Gilmore, and I'm sure everything will be fine." Then there was like a roar. We could hear a roar, and we had equalised. He didn't even flinch. He just carried on talking to me. Didn't go out. Didn't do anything, and he just give me a pat on the head. He went, "You're going to be a special player," and I never forget it. He didn't, the game was still going on, and that's what he's all about. Just an incredible human being. Later in the happier days when we were playing Holland, we beat Holland. I was in the lounge, having a drink with my mum and dad, and he just walked in and he tapped my dad on the shoulder. And he went, I told you he'd be okay, didn't I?" And my dad just laughed away. He just lit up a room. He really did. He was an incredible human being. Tactically, of course, the best manager I ever played for, best coach. But more importantly, I really did look up to him as a father figure. He brought, I was done many interviews over the years, and I said he was, a second dad to me. So, of course, today is very, very sad.
Before Euro 96, I remember the injuries that you had to deal with, and there must have been a time when you thought, goodness me, have I got any chance of being ready, of being fit? How much of a comfort was he to you during that period, when you wouldn't have known that, that amazing tournament was going to happen for you?
He was an incredible comfort, and, of course I spoke about, my injuries on many, many occasions, but that was the one that really hit me the most because I knew I just got into the England team, the year before. I was doing great, but, for Spurs and England, picked up the injury. The treatment I was getting wasn't great. I couldn't, kept every time someone asked, when are you going to be back? I kept saying 2 weeks, and it just never got better. He picked up the phone. He went, "How you doing?" He went, "Yeah, I'm doing good." He went, "Well, I'm going to come and see you, and then we'll go and see Dave Butler, the old Spurs coach, who was now Spurs physio, who's now England physio. Let's go, let Dave have a little look." And I went and saw him. And I literally would go training at Spurs and then come back, go home, and then go over to Dave Butler's in the evenings. And he would take me out, go running, go do treatment, all to try and get me ready for Euro 96. And it was incredible. And, I was just very fortunate. But going through those dark times, I always had a belief that if Dave could get me fit, then I would be in Terry's team, and that was how it worked out. And so, of course, the best summer of my footballing career was all down to him. And just hearing Gary Lineker speak there about, Terry, and everybody who played under him loved him. And I was very fortunate that he bought me for Spurs, and then when he was England manager, he gave me my England debut, and of course I'll always be forever grateful for that.
Darren, those are two wonderful stories. Thank you so much for being with us to tell them, and I'm so sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Darren Anderton with us there on 5 Live. Right, we have just kicked off at Goodison Park in the second half, so let's rejoin John Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Second half underway, but what a fine tribute that was from Darren Anderton. Really, really touching stuff from a player who was so affected by Terry Venables, as McTominay hits a shot from 25 yards, but it flies away over the top of the crossbar. So 1-0 Manchester United lead here on this day of days at Goodison Park. We've had all of the protests against the Premier League after the 10-point deduction that Everton are facing. We've seen one of the goal of goals by Alejandro Garnacho, who has just received a knock, but he's getting to his feet, he's okay. The teams are as they started the match: Pickford in goal for Everton, Young, Tarkowski, Braithwaite and Mikalenko, Garner, Doucouré and Gay, Harrison, Calvert-Lewin and McNeil, and Manchester United with Onana, Gallo, Maguire, Lindelof and the returning Luke Shaw, McTominay, Mainu, who's caught the eye, the 18-year-old on his first league start, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Garnacho and Anthony Martial. And Manchester United, red shirts, black shorts, black socks here at Goodison against the home colours of the blue shirts. And the white shorts and socks is Idrissa Gueye tugged over by Bruno Fernandes. Free kick to Everton, 10 yards inside their own half. And the former Everton and England midfielder Leon Osman is watching with me. We'll hear from Leon in a moment, but a long ball played up towards Calvert-Lewin, who couldn't get his head to it. Headed away by Maguire. So now Bruno Fernandes, the bearded Bruno Fernandes, is trotting forward with the ball. Just rolls it, a little touch to Diogo Dalot, who set up the opening goal, who goes back to Harry Maguire. So first word of the second half from Leon Osman.
The game's really not really got going in the second half to the tempo that we finished the first half. I'm sure that would have been a message. let's get this game back under control. We were
Il notino Black Friday è al suo apice. Acquista prodotti in offerta.
Towards Tarkowski, and it's a long right-footed ball. That's asking a lot of Harrison, and it will be watched by Luke Shaw over the dead ball line for a goal kick.
Yeah, going back to that Manchester United second goal, I think a lot of credit actually was to Harry Maguire, who tried to get his team forward by making a positive run forward and give the ball away, but he stayed in a really attacking position, got it back, played a lovely ball forward into Bruno Fernandes to set up the attack, and he's had an impressive couple of months for Manchester United, Maguire, after what had been a very difficult time.
Yes, he has. Luke Shaw just playing the ball out of play. And actually, with this scoreline, Leon, Manchester United will be 6 points behind the leaders Arsenal. Throw-in taken for Everton. Still, it's not over yet. Still got half an hour to play here. And Ashley Young on the right-hand side gets his head down, gets the cross in. Doucouré, challenge for it, comes out. Mikalenko with a shot, which he's pulled through a crowd of players, and it bounces into the advertising hoardings behind for a goal kick. From our position here, he shot straight down the line of the pillar that holds up the room, and the ball just disappeared.
I think there was a half chance and a half opportunity. I think he hit it at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who maybe could have directed that towards goal, but he just missed his kick as that ball went right through him, swiped and missed it. Chance gone.
Everton's men losing, Everton's women winning. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1, the latest score in the 4:30 kick-off in the Women's Super League. And commentary to come on Sports Extra on the Manchester City-Tottenham WSL match, which is on Sports Extra from 6:45. Aston Villa have equalised. Rachel Daly's made it 1-1. Aston Villa 1, Everton 1. Everton 0, Manchester United 2 is the match here, the commentary match, our second Premier League commentary of the day after Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. These are the matches you'll be talking about on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 08 085 909 693. And as I say, I'm sure they would love to hear your Terry Venables memories. You can book your call on 85058 or on social media, hashtag BBC 606. Here's Harrison, Everton in a hole here, 2-0 down. Harrison playing it to the edge of the area, cleared away easily, straight into the path of Lindelof. Rashford's on the run. Rashford now, he's been chased by Idrissa Gueye. Tarkowski's out there as well, and Tarkowski in the full-back position is able to take the ball off his toe and put it behind for a corner.
Well, that's better from Marcus Rashford. I mean, I haven't seen that kind of positivity from him for a long time. That goal certainly gave him some back. He didn't think about turning back. He didn't think about looking for a teammate. He just thought about how quickly can I get forward and cause Everton and Tarkowski in particular some real trouble. Forced his team a corner.
An interesting question, won't it? You know, when the decision was made that Rashford would be the penalty taker in this match. It's a corner. Manchester United taking their time over this, which Everton are pointing out. But it's Luke Shaw is being applauded rapturously by the Manchester United fans as he takes this outswinger, which is headed away. Maguire was after it, comes out to Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes, Shaw makes a run. Bruno Fernandes clips it in, that's headed away by Calvert-Lewin. He had a number of those chances Everton had in the first half when it was only 1-0. An absolutely crucial clearance off the line by this young man, Kobbie Mainoo, who's done very well on his full Premier League debut. Playing it now to Rashford, crosses from the right, that's headed away. Shaw nods it further, Mainoo jumps for it, bounces out to Rashford. Rashford does really well in between Doucouré and Gueye. Then Rashford gets it back, step over, up against Mikalenko to the byline. Mikalenko goes to ground and slides it behind for a corner.
But again, positive from Marcus Rashford. He just looks a different player since the ball hit the back of the goal for his penalty kick. He's been on the left-hand side, he's demanded the ball, and he's tried to get at Everton's full-backs and centre-halves as soon as he's got the ball.
Well defended from the Ukrainian. Corner for Manchester United from the right, who are in control here, leading by 2-0. Bruno Fernandes raises his right arm, then the ball comes across, diving header away, a little bit like Andy Gray all those years ago in the famous goal that was in the Manchester United match of the day opening credits. Bounces forward, Bruno Fernandes takes it into the area, but Branthwaite comes across and blocks it behind for another corner for Manchester United from the right. Corner. Once we see what happens here, we'll cross to Spain, to Russell Fuller, who's been watching the Davis Cup final between Italy and Australia.
That was a big chance for Manchester United, John. I mean, he was running into the penalty area unmarked, Bruno Fernandes. It took too long.
Corner taken short, Rashford. Now into the area. Dalot chips it right across the box. And then Garnacho. Well, you can't have two in one day. He set himself, went for the scything volley, but sliced it way up and over everyone beyond the far post goal kick.
And that was a much easier technique that he was just using there to the one he used to score his goal, and yet got one of them perfectly, the more difficult one, and completely messed the other one up.
So let's find out what's happening in the Davis Cup. Italy against Australia. Russell Fuller.
Poor old Alexei Popperin of Australia. He had all 8 break points in the deciding set against Matteo Arnaldi of Italy, but he's lost it. So, if Yannick Sinner beats Alex de Minaur, then Italy are Davis Cup champions.
Okay, we'll keep you posted on that. Dalot wins the ball back on the edge of the area. And the Checkered Flag podcast, by the way, has all of the news on the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As Everton break forward. Here's Tarkowski. Tarkowski to Harrison. Harrison back across. Maguire's in there, and Maguire gets a crucial touch with Calvert-Lewin behind him. And Onana's able to spring forward and catch the ball. And Maguire applauds. Probably applauds himself.
Yeah, probably. And he should. It was clever defending from Maguire. Everton nearly got in behind Manchester United, but as Harrison just tried to cross that ball, it was slightly behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It was coming straight to Maguire, and rather than panic and try and swing at it, he just allowed it to hit his thigh. It took all the pace out of the cross, and his goalkeeper gladly brought it into his hands.
Yeah, Rashford maybe trying to be too clever possibly on the halfway line, lost possession, and Manchester United have to defend again. But only 25 minutes left in this match. Feels like with the situation that they're in, with the 10-point deduction, every match so important. Certainly every match here at Goodison Park, where Everton have won just once in the league here this season. This would be their 5th home defeat in the Premier League this campaign. Here's Branthwaite. It just seemed to be quite a strong feeling that Everton would win this game today, with the backing that they would get, which they have had. But Manchester United have just been too cute for them. As Tarkowski hits a long pass, but Onana's going to come across and take that, and he's been a big part in it. The saves that Onana has made, that latest save from Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to use the word. They've been cute. They've been good in the important moments of the game. What are you going to do? You're going to come to a very intense Goodison Park. We're going to try and take the sting out of the game. Well, they did that with that outstanding goal in the first 3 minutes, and Everton took 20-25 minutes to get going, and then started the second half when the half-time whistle stopped Everton's momentum. Since half-time, Manchester United are the team that started quicker in the second half, scoring that goal again, putting Everton on the back foot at crucial moments in time when Everton have got forward. The goalkeepers made big moments as well.
That's Leon Osman with us here at Goodison Park on 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Another former Evertonian will be on the Monday Night Club tomorrow night. Connor Cody back on 5 Live again. Leon,
does he take a day off?
He'll be after you before you know it. Just watch out for him. So he's on the Monday Night Club with Mark Chapman. Chris Sutton and Rory Smith will have updates on Fulham against Wolves as well. As Ashley Young on the right for Everton swings it into the near post. Calvert-Lewin went for it, defender as well. Lindelof got a crucial touch on that, deflected, well defended by Lindelof. Corner Everton.
Great header from Lindelof. He's getting high fives again from his teammates. Well, that's as simple as the football needs to be from Everton. Good few passes in midfield, create a little bit of space in wide areas, get it out to Ashley Young, one touch, deliver the ball into the penalty area. Everton had 3, maybe 4 players attacking good areas, but it was a brilliant header from Lindelof.
I think Manchester United are preparing at least one player to come on. Amrabat getting himself ready. Corner then for Everton, taken. Oh, Onana's come and punched it and missed it. I think the defender was there as well, perhaps got a touch on that. The ball went up into the air. That could have gone anywhere. Wow. He was very lucky that the ball just deflected up above his head and he was able to catch it.
Wow, very lucky. I mean, I'm not quite sure he knows how he's done what he's just done. He's gone to punch it two-handed, and he's punched it straight up into the air with backspin on it. It went about 3, maybe 4 foot above his head, and then he just gobbled it back up. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed to do what he did, but he'll be grateful he did.
Everton 0, Manchester United 2. Well, we've seen a number of things today, Leon, that I'm not sure I've ever seen before.
Yeah, well, no,
that was just one of them. No chance to do that again. I'm not sure Garnacho could do what he did again. As Harrison now for Everton, who are coming on strong. Doucouré at the back post after it deflected across to him, but hits the shot into the backside, I think, of Dalot, and it's deflected wide for another Everton corner. A little bit like the first half. Everton, having conceded a goal early on in the 45 minutes, are now coming on strong in the latter part. But the question is whether they're actually going to be able to take some of their chances. If they get a goal back in this to make it 2-1, you would not rule out a rousing finish. Pellistri and Amrabat are the Manchester United players who are going to come on. Pellistri is another one who's been on that injured list. Corner then, and it looks as though it's just going to be dropped in to the 6-yard box because it is very, very congested in there. Red shirts, blue shirts all around. Referee Brooks has just had a word with everybody. Not that that'll make any difference. And here is the delivery to the back post, which is headed away by Dalot. Comes out for Everton. It's played back by Mikalenko to Young, who just lifts a high one forward, rather hopeful. And then Bruno Fernandes in the challenge. Wins that challenge. Ball bounces. He hits it downfield. And that is looked after by Ashley Young. Everton inside their own half with the ball. Yes, on Monday Night Club 5 Live tomorrow night. Also, Win the Headlines continues in the morning in breakfast from 6. One of the prizes eventually will be tickets to the Euro 2024 final when that comes around. Lindelof on Calvert-Lewin. The Everton fans feel that Lindelof was fouling the Everton number 9. No free kick given. Rashford, and now Bruno Fernandes. A flick. Bruno Fernandes can't take it on, but it's played forward by Lindelof to Rashford. Rashford whips the ball right across, and Garnacho arriving at the back post on the stretch in the 6-yard box can only direct it into the side netting, but he was at full tilt.
Oh, that was a pacey attack from Manchester United. Good bit of interplay. Third man running. Marcus Rashford sets off, hoping a teammate had put the ball in his path. One of them did, and he had support. He fired it across at Everton goal mouth. It ended up 3 yards outside the bar post, 3 yards from the touchline. Garnacho was all out full stretch, just couldn't quite do enough to get it on target. But when United attack like that with real pace, they're dangerous.
Right, the double change, Leon. Menu and Garnacho are the two to be taken off, with Amrabat and Pellistri coming on. So that's it for Alejandro Garnacho on a day in his career that he'll never forget. The 19-year-old scoring. Well, if he scores a better goal than that in his career, I'd like to be there to see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he ever will. I mean, no matter how much he tries, and he'll be really pleased with his contribution. Talk about having big moments in the game, helping your team win games. That's certainly what he did with that start. It's been really intense atmosphere, and he, in that single moment, quietened everybody down. And the young lad, Menu, in the middle of the pitch, he'll be really pleased with his full debut, getting on the ball, making things tick, right in the heart of the field, right where it's most congested. He was the calming influence for Manchester United in that 70 minutes.
Sorry, Leon. Sean Dyche makes a couple of changes as well at the same point. And straight swaps, Danjuma coming on for McNeil, and Nathan Patterson coming on for Ashley Young.
Yeah, no real surprise about them either. I don't think Dwight McNeil's been up to his usual standards today. Ashley Young on a yellow card. No surprise to see him changed.
And also he's had a real test against Garnacho. Rashford at times, as Lindelof leaning forward in the way that he does. Lindelof, who scored the winner in the previous match. He's listening to Ian Dennis with a commentary. The Manchester United win against Luton Town. So Manchester United, with this scoreline, leading by 2 goals to 0, Manchester United will have won 5 out of 6 Premier League matches. Throw in for Manchester United. Luke Shaw to take it. That's a big positive for Manchester United today, the fact that he's back after 3 months out. Big positive for England and Gareth Southgate as well. Amrabat then gives it away in centre field, and Everton have got it back inside their own half. up towards Calvert-Lewin. He slips, bounced up and hit his hand, and he slipped over. So Manchester United playing it forward through the middle, but Branthwaite's able to calmly take possession there, and Everton have got it inside their own half. Back to Branthwaite. It goes. Long left-footed pass from Branthwaite. That's looking for Danjuma. That was a super pass into his path. Defenders there as well. Dalot defended it well. Watched the bounce, stepped in, and then passes it away here to Pellistri on the right-hand side. And the Uruguayan gives it back to Dalot, who clears long to the halfway line. Just over 15 minutes to play. Everton 0, Manchester United 2. And more Everton groans as Martial, who won the penalty, turns and plays the ball forward down the right to Pellistri. Dark-haired Uruguayan infield towards Fernandes through the middle of Martial. Lovely touch, lovely finish. Martial on the score sheet for Manchester United here at Goodison Park to make it 3-0. Manchester United supporters delighted in the corner, but around Goodison Park, great disappointment. Some now beginning to head immediately for the exits. On a day when they've made their feelings very clear about the Premier League's 10-point deduction, they've not been able to do anything about Manchester United. Everton 0, Manchester United 3.
Oh, that is a superb Manchester United goal, right from Anthony Martial picking the ball up on the halfway line and playing Pellistri in down that right-hand side. Everton were exposed again. Every time Manchester United have had that Everton backline stretch, they've caused problems. Pellistri up against Branthwaite, knows he's not going to beat him for pace or for power, cuts inside, picks out Bruno Fernandes. He in turn just gets turned first, takes the ball on his back foot. Everton's centre half's a stretch. Anthony Martial spotted it. He ran into the space, played in by Bruno Fernandes. One touch, roughly on the penalty spot, to the outside of his right foot. Second touch, just flicked it over Jordan Pickford as he came rushing out. Keeper can do nothing. Everton are looking around at each other, those Everton players, but Manchester United cut them to pieces.
Everton 0, Manchester United 3, and Anthony Martial took it beautifully, his first Premier League goal of this season. And with that, Manchester United are going to say, look, Shaw, on your return, that's enough from you, with 15 minutes to play. And Wan-Bissaka, who missed the last match with illness, he comes on, which means that Dalot moves across the left back. But all things told, to be winning 3-0 here today, Manchester United, to have Luke Shaw back and playing 75 minutes of the match, the world looks a much brighter place for Manchester United, even if it looks rather bleak for Everton right now. But it's been a good day for United and Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, I think even the most hardened Manchester United fans will have expected to come here and win, maybe. Certainly the ease that they've sort of had the game, 3-0, comfortable, moved the ball really well, rotated players, got people back fresh, had a couple of young players play outstandingly well in an intense atmosphere. Ten Hag not even on the sideline today, watching from the stands, will be delighted with his team's performance.
3-0 Manchester United lead. Garnacho's early goal, Rashford's penalty, and that delightful finish, really, a little dink from Martial. Here's Mikalenko shooting against the angle of post and bar, and it stays out. Onana was beaten there, but it hit the crossbar very close to where it meets the post and bounced away out of play on the far side.
That's the best I've seen, I think, from Everton, certainly in the second half. Just of inventiveness and creativeness, just an underlapping run from Mikalenko. Danjuma cutting inside, dropping his shoulder, just runners off the ball. It always disrupts opposition's defence if you can be on the move.
Little dink forward by Danjuma, but Manchester United clear away on the edge of their own penalty area. And it's the Manchester United songs you can sing, that you can hear being sung away over on the far side of the pitch. That big Manchester United flag has appeared in the hoardings at the front of the top tier of the stand, with Marcus Rashford's name written across it. Here's Wan-Bissaka coming on as a substitute on what is his 26th birthday today. Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat deflects this ball out of play for a throw into Everton on the left. You mentioned it, Leon, but Kobbie Mainoo playing most of the match before Amrabat came onto the field. We did wonder why Amrabat was not selected, and Neno was in the team, but I think we found out, didn't we, with the way that he played. We'll talk about that in a moment, because here's Patterson down the right-hand side for Everton, playing the ball back towards Harrison, who's behind him, and then Harrison infield, the touch from Garner, he's given it away, he's passed it straight to Rashford, who couldn't take advantage, and Everton have it back. But Kobbie Mainoo's contribution today.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered where exactly they were going to trust him into play. He played in that hold and roll right in front of the defence, covering in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, becoming part of a back three at times, but getting on the ball.
Patterson plays it into the penalty area, but in front of Calvert-Lewin. Onana is able just to take a touch and then pick it up.
Yeah, getting on the ball in, as I mentioned, an atmosphere that makes people nervous when they're on the pitch. It makes the pitch seem smaller. Everton were trying to rush around the feet of the young man. When he played with his head up, he had a real awareness about what was around him. Manchester United can keep playing him, getting a bit more experience. He showed some really good signs today.
Nice pass from Maguire from the back, but Bruno Fernandes' touch gave it away. And now here's Doucouré over towards the left corner of the box. Left-footed ball right across the penalty area beyond Harrison, who's going to do well to keep this in. He can't keep it in, and he just runs up and stops himself in front of the hoardings.
Yeah, it's those moments, though, where Manchester United have been better than Everton today. When you get into the final third, when you get to the moment of creating an opportunity, Bruno Fernandes has passed to Harry Maguire, pass that sets up the chance. Everton have just been a little bit sloppy in either those moments or the actual finishing moments. They haven't finished as well as Manchester United have.
Everton 0, Manchester United 3. So we will be with Manchester United in Turkey on Wednesday. Just to mark your card, that is an early kick-off on Wednesday. Here's Harrison in the box. Harrison challenged by Fernandes, bounces back out of the box. Harrison and Gay get in each other's way, and then Mikalenko has Pellistri nibbling away at him, and then Danjuma with Pellistri and Wan-Bissaka. You know, that sums it up there, Manchester United, Pellistri and Wan-Bissaka. Even though they're 3-0 up in this match, those are the standards. That's what the Manchester United supporters want to see.
That's what you have to have. There can be no, you can't be playing at a certain standards at certain moments in the game and letting them drop if you're comfortably ahead, or in any game. If you're going to have a successful season, the demands from each other have to be at the very top.
Bruno Fernandes passing it forward, looking for Martial. That'll do his confidence the world of good, but it bounces back for Everton. Doucouré's pass couldn't find Danjuma. Wan-Bissaka cleared it, comes out to Garner, controls it, but then shoots wildly as McTominay dives in front of him, and that was wide and over, and we will see another change, and that's it for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that is an acceptance now in this match that it will not be Everton's day here today. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being saved for the greater challenges that will come, and the young Portuguese Yusuf Chermiti will get only his 7th appearance of the season, the teenager, the number 28 up front, but Calvert-Lewin, they're going to need him, obviously.
Yeah, so with his injury record, you don't want to run him into the ground, but that last little bit of play from Everton summed up, I think, the way they've sort of finished attacks today. Doucouré had a great chance to slip the ball on the side of Manchester United centre-halves for Ian Rush and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to finish. He made a really poor pass, then the ball came out. James Garner shot from distance when he was off balance, a really poor decision just in that final third.
Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes finding the pass to Pellistri just outside the D. Little ball in towards Martial on the edge of the area, then back to Bruno Fernandes, who is being put under pressure by Garner. So Manchester United have to work it to the right. Fernandes and Pellistri, and then back to Pellistri. Gay chasing him. Pellistri pulls it across, but no pace on that, and it should be cleared by Everton. Well, it is, but it only cleared to Wan-Bissaka. It's just outside the corner of the box. Wan-Bissaka, ponytail bobbing. Now to Pellistri, who goes down rather theatrically in a challenge from Mikalenko, but wins the free kick nevertheless. So we've got just over 6 minutes to play. Lines are open for 6:06. You can talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton tonight, or indeed almost every Saturday and Sunday night on the 5 Live football phone in 08 085 909 693. I'm sure you'll want to talk about the penalty, that crucial penalty that was awarded to Manchester United, scored by Rashford, that made it 2-0. It does feel like that was the pivotal moment of this match. And of course, if you just switched on, they will be very keen to hear stories and tales and memories of Terry Venables. So 08085 909 693. Free kick then. Bruno Fernandes plays it in. Lindelof was after it, but it was headed away for Everton. And then Chermiti was able to nod it further away. Amrabat back towards the edge of the area, and the offside flag goes up, and it's a free kick to Everton. So join us this week when we will be out and about in the Champions League. On Tuesday night, we will be in Paris for PSG against Newcastle. That's live from the Parc des Princes. Then Galatasaray Manchester United on Wednesday night at 5:45, followed by Arsenal against Lens at 8 o'clock from the Emirates. We'll have all of the matches covered, all of the busy midweek, but those are our Champions League commentaries, and 5 Live, the only place you will hear all of that from inside all of the stadiums. And Manchester United making another change. The instructions, if indeed they have come down from on high, from Eric Ten Hag. Hannibal Mejbri is able to come on, the Tunisian international, and Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper, has the ball in his hands and plays it out towards the left-hand side, and Dallo is off on a run. It was Dallo who set up that thrilling opening goal for Garnacho, and Dallo plays this across to Pellistri, and on his left foot Pellistri shoots, but Pickford's able to go down to his left and just stun it and collect it as he got to his feet.
Yeah, in those moments Manchester United just found it easier to create shooting opportunities against Everton. A bit of a tame shot, as shots go with what we've seen today. Easy as enough save for Jordan Pickford.
Everton with it on the right-hand side, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes and a little bit more than that before we will cross the 6:06. But Everton now into the penalty area, but Onana slides out and is able to take the ball into his body. He's played an important part, the Manchester United goalkeeper today. This will be a valuable clean sheet, if it is to be a clean sheet.
Yeah, I was a bit critical of him in the first half for getting caught in possession or kicking the ball out and allowing Everton to gather a bit of momentum. But in the crucial moments, you need your goalkeeper to make saves, and he's been called upon to keep his team ahead in the game. He's made those crucial saves, and that's the most important thing your goalkeeper can do for you.
And Leon Mejbri coming on for Anthony Martial, who, you know, he's easily criticised, isn't he, by Manchester United supporters, but he's played a big part today. And here is Danjuma on the left-hand side for Everton, but Wan-Bissaka dives in with a challenge and actually plays it into Danjuma and through for a goal kick. But Anthony Martial?
Yeah, he divides opinion, doesn't he? Anthony.
Well, Anthony does divide opinion.
Well, it may be Anthony Martial, but this has been one of his better games. He's, as I say, he's been involved. His passing was good, getting turned, got brought down for the penalty kick for the second goal, and then scored the third goal. So he'll be pleased with his afternoon. And Hannibal's come on, and he's gone on that left-hand side. Marcus Rashford has taken the place that Martial was occupying right through the middle.
3-0 Manchester United lead. So much was hoped and promised by Everton. The ball's played in. Lindelof does well, got his head to it. Danjuma again on the left-hand side, his cross, but Maguire is there. He heads it away. Danjuma gets that all wrong and actually volleys it back to Mikalenko, who's halfway inside the half, who did well just to find Tarkowski in the centre circle. Here is Mikalenko again. Mikalenko getting it back, playing it infield, and Ghana, red shirts in front of him, two lines of red shirts. That's what Manchester United want now here, that clean sheet to add to the 3 goals and the 3 points. It's cleared away, Tarkowski gets a touch on that, but Hannibal Mejbri is dispossessed by Patterson. Idrissa Gueye out to the right-hand side, he gets it down, pass forward towards Doucouré, who's got space there over on the right-hand side, and then infield towards Gueye, and now Ghana, who might have shot there, but he turned onto his left foot, he's back onto his right, and then shoots into the midriff of Maguire, and it bounces away for Manchester United with the deflection. Bruno Fernandes plays it to Rashford. Rashford's now got space. Tarkowski tries to come across and gets a foot to it, and that was not too far away from actually being deflected into his own net. Instead, it rolled 3 feet wide for a corner.
Yeah, again, decision-making. James Garner had an opportunity. The ball sat perfectly for him to shoot. He decided not to. Tried to twist, turn, then he shot when he was off balance. And in doing so, Everton left themselves completely exposed. And it was a real outstretched leg of Tarkowski that stopped what was not like a really good counter-attack from Manchester United. Rashford down the right. Bruno Fernandes waiting for the tap-in. Tarkowski thwarted him.
Corner to Manchester United, rapidly emptying Goodison Park, in contrast with the amazing atmosphere before the match, the chorus of boos like I've never heard before. Corner taken by Manchester United, back to Rashford. Maguire with a header across the face of goal, but Pickford actually chases it, and he caught it, but it was over the line, says the assistant. So Pickford, who wanted to get rid of it quickly, but listen, in the grand scheme of things, I know it's never over till it's over, but that demonstrated positivity of the sort that Everton will need in the remainder of this season from their goalkeeper. Had to take it back for a goal kick. Manchester United play forward for Rashford, chasing against Branthwaite, and the young defenders able to lift it out into the Manchester United fans. In the Women's Super League, it's now Aston Villa 1, Everton 2. Everton back in front. And also Everton replacing Abdoulaye Doucouré with the young striker, the number 61, Lewis Dobbin, the 20-year-old, who was at Derby last season. This is sixth appearance of the season. He's only been on the field once since August, so a bit of game time for him, the number 61 coming onto the field for Everton. But it's Manchester United with a throw-in, which is taken down to Rashford near the corner flag. Rashford looking to hold it there. Patterson, the right back for Everton, is in. It's deflected out of play off Rashford for a throw-in to the home side. So Everton waiting to take this. What about the task that faces Everton then, Leon? You know, how confident can you be that they are going to get enough points to finish above that line?
Yeah, I think the club as a whole and Sean Dyche and his players are confident. I think it would have felt much different had Everton won this game. That feeling of positivity, of the form they've been in, of keeping forward momentum and not being too far away from being out the relegation zone already. But as it happens here, it's a long way off. It's going to be 2 wins.
Chermiti takes the ball on and shoots narrowly wide of the far post. That would have been some goal as well from Chermiti from outside the penalty area, 22 yards or so, on his right foot, got good contact. I have to confess, I thought it was flying in. It flew just wide.
Only just wide. I think Onana will say he had it covered, but we've seen flashes of Chermiti since he's been at Everton. He's had a couple of substitute appearances. He's had moments here or there. That was nearly his best moment in a blue shirt.
3-0. Remains the scoreline, however. 6:06 on the way on 5 Live. 08, 085, 909, 693. And there's a free kick. Idrissa Gueye, just a little late on the challenge. I think the yellow card came out there, didn't it? Yes, it did. So that's a yellow card for Idrissa Gueye. And a free kick for Manchester United on the far side.
Yeah, just frustration that from Idrissa Gueye. Tried to complain that he hadn't done anything. Once that's Hannah laid the ball up, he just kicked in. Moment of frustration about the day's actions, I think.
Free kick is taken by Dalot, right-footed, but that would just bounce all the way through to Pickford. That was a waste. But if you think of the last 2 seasons, Leon, when Everton have narrowly avoided the drop, 36 points last season, 39 points the season before. If you take 10 points off that, then they will be relegated if it's a similar points total. But I don't know about you, I just feel that under Sean Dyche now, with his feet under the table, they've got the capability. They have got the capability.
They've started to show flashes, but you say, the staying up, you need that amount of points. You take 10 off, and then you think about how you get them points. Well, Everton have already lost at home to Fulham, to Wolves, to Luton, now to Manchester.
Savage and Chris Sutton. Harrison down the right for Everton, cutting in field, on his left foot, shoots, but that's blocked by Lindelof all the way out towards the left-hand side. They are the old firm, aren't they, Maguire and Lindelof? They're no-nonsense defenders, but the two of them have had a good afternoon here with a Nana behind them. As Idrissa Gueye plays it in, but that's headed away by the shaven-headed Amrabat. Comes in from the right-hand side. Lindelof is there again. How many headers the two of them have won, Lindelof and Maguire, I'm not sure, but it's a lot. And just just a few moments ago when Leon was speaking, the ball came to Maguire, who just on his right foot gave it what for and cleared it downfield. Again, no nonsense. Danjuma on the right. Wan-Bissaka blocks it and it bounces into the lower tier of the Gladys Street for a corner.
Yeah, I think in the modern game sometimes that's frowned upon, but it's a big part of defending. No nonsense clearances. Get your foot behind it, you clear the ball away from the danger and you get your team up the pitch. Maguire, good to see, still hasn't lost that.
Ghana will take this corner for Everton, but the game's gone, the points have gone. Ghana plays it in though to the back post where Tarkowski gets his head to it. It's headed across the 6-yard box by Chermiti, cleared away, only just, it rattled around inside the 6-yard area, but in the end Manchester United have been able to clear it for Rashford to chase if he can't keep the ball in, and it's out for a throw. We're in the 5th minute of added time now. Manchester United just about preserving that clean sheet, and it was headed across the box. Menchbury was in there, Lindelof as well, crucially inside the 6-yard area, was able to clear it away. But 3-0, a healthy lead, and for Manchester United, really, moments this season haven't got much better than this in terms of the scoreline. Danjuma playing it across from the left-hand side, cleared out to Mikolenko, and now clipped in from Ghana, but I think that's beyond Harrison. It is, he won't reach that, and it is the goal kick. So 3-0 it is, which equals their biggest winning margin of the season. They won 3-0 in the League Cup against Crystal Palace, Manchester United, so their biggest winning scoreline of the season in the Premier League. And really what we'll remember from today, we'll certainly remember how the Everton crowd conducted themselves and made clear their feelings about the Premier League's 10-point deduction. But that moment in the 3rd minute when Garnacho scored that goal, as Eric Ten Hag just walks up, Darren Fletcher is there with him, and they're off there and out of our sight into Goodison Park as Everton have it inside the penalty area with the Drissake. His shot is blocked. Mikolenko now back centrally. Ghana gives it to Dobbin, who was onto it on his right foot, trying to find a position to shoot, which he does, but it flies away over and wide and into the Everton supporters. But that goal, Leon, super opening goal for Manchester United that rather prosaically I've just written in my notes as Lindelof, Rashford, Dalot, Garnacho. Which doesn't really tell the full story.
That explains the quality of the goal as well, as I've seen you or 8 goals in the past, John, because it was sublime, and it really knocked the stuffing out of what Everton were trying to do today. Huge moments of quality, exactly what Manchester United needed.
And there we are. That goal really set the tone for Manchester United on this day of protest by Everton and their supporters, which started with the loudest chorus of boos you could ever hear, but it's finished in a convincing victory, their best of the season in the Premier League so far for Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United. A brilliant, brilliant goal from Alejandro Garnacho. Make sure you see that on Match of the Day 2 tonight. Penalty from Marcus Rashford, that was a crucial moment, the awarding of that penalty early in the second half. VAR with the call on that, and then Anthony Martial got in on the act with a very good finish. So it's convincing in the end, Leon.
Yeah, absolutely. All the talk before the game was about Everton. All the talk after the game will be about Manchester United. There's been questions over Eric Ten Hag's team this season, and this was going to be a huge test, a test of character, a test of nerve, a test of desire as well. And they ticked every one of those boxes. They showed huge quality in real big moments of the game, none more so than Garnacho's unbelievable overhead kick for the opening goal, but also for the two goals that followed, especially the third. For all the questions that have been put to them, they've got a really good run going in the Premier League points-wise, and this was another good test that they overcame.
Yeah, brilliant goal from Garnacho. You could put it in an art gallery, that goal. The boos for the referee, John Brooks, as he leaves the field. Everton, they'll feel aggrieved for all sorts of reasons, but the final score here is Everton 0, Manchester United 3.
Yes, someone somewhere on social media will have tweeted, hang it in the Louvre. I have, excuse me, absolutely no doubt. The difficulty of it, I mean, the full-time whistle's gone, and the goal was so long ago now as Alejandro Garnacho goes across to applaud the Manchester United fans. But it is still, by a distance, Leon, the standout moment. It just punctured that atmosphere of protest with an absolutely perfect connection.
Well, it did, because not only was it a goal that would have quieted the crowd anyway, but it was a jaw-dropping moment. Everybody was just stunned by seeing a goal of that quality, and it wasn't just the finish, which was remarkable, but the whole move back to front, crossfield pass, good touch, underlap and run, cross to the far post, and then that moment, it just literally took the life out of the atmosphere that Everton were trying to create, and it rocked the Everton for about 20 minutes before they really got going in this game. And when you're coming away into stadiums like this, when you know the noise that's going to be created, if you can do something like that, if you can create a moment, if you've got the quality within your game to help your team in that way, and you make the afternoon so much more easy for you.
It's an important win for Manchester United, of course it is, especially with the situation they've been in, John, but particularly because of the trip to Galatasaray in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's exactly what Erik ten Hag would have wanted. You know, I can imagine Manchester United supporters were really feeling uncomfortable about the week that lies ahead, to go to Istanbul, to Galatasaray, to go to St James's Park next Saturday night, and starting here. But, you know, they've set the tone here tonight, and I feel not in terms of just the scoreline, but the way that they, you know, there's been so much criticism about Manchester United attitude, where they are, what they are. Tonight, here at Goodison, it looked as though they got it right. You know, so this is a big step in the right direction.
That's exactly the question I was thinking of, Leon, is how big a step it is. So how good were Manchester United today? If someone was just asking you to review this game, were they, for want of a better phrase, 3-0 good?
I don't think Manchester United dominated the game. Well, had loads of possession and really had Everton on the back foot for the majority, but what they did is they turned up in the crucial moments. They turned up in the first 15 minutes. The goalkeeper turned up just before half-time and just after half-time. The goals that followed came at really good moments. They delivered in big moments of the game, and that's what you have to do. Everton didn't. Everton were the other way. They had a lot of huff and a lot of puff without any real final end product in the two penalty areas where it all counts, and that's where Manchester United were good. And it's a step in the right direction, no doubt. It's not a lunge, it's not a jump, it's a step in the right direction. And you know, another big test will be against Galatasaray. Can they follow this up? Because it's been inconsistent from Manchester United this season. They've showed bits of good, then they've showed games where they're lacking quality, and their fans want to see a good consistent bit of quality in every single game they play.
If they'd been beaten today, we would have been talking about all of the players who were missing. No Højlund today, you know, no Anthony, no Mount, and all the rest of them as well. Casemiro, Martinez, you know, that long list. But they've done this without them.
It is the same true of Everton here, Leon, in that, you know, it might be a small step backwards, but it's not a lunge backwards and it's not a backwards jump. You know, 3-0 home defeat is never going to be much fun. But having watched the game, it doesn't necessarily need to be that painful for them, does it?
No, it's fine-tuning things, I think, for Everton at both ends of the field, especially at the top end. If you're creating big chances, you've got to convert them. If you're getting to the edge of the penalty area and there's an opportunity to make a good pass to score a goal, you've got to have moments of quality. Everton just seem to lose concentration in those crucial moments today. And also, you know, what today may have just caught up with a few. It may have made it a little bit difficult to go out there and perform. It shouldn't have, but maybe it did affect the Everton players. So, you know, it's back to the training field, and it's moving forward, and Everton will now look to Nottingham Forest next weekend and how they can go and get the 3 points from there.
Yeah, Leon, John, thank you both very much indeed. So Everton second bottom of the Premier League table on 4 points, of course, after the 10 deducted. So they are now 5 from safety after Luton's big win at home on Saturday. And at the other end of the table, Manchester United move up to 6th in the Premier League table on 24. Above them, Spurs 26, Villa in 4th 28, the same as Liverpool in 3rd, Manchester City on 29, and the Premier League leaders after 13 matches with 30 points are Arsenal. 08085 909 693. The lines are open. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage are waiting to talk to you on 606, which follows the news on 5 Live with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. The Israeli government says 14 Israelis and 3 foreign nationals held hostage in Gaza by Hamas have now returned to Israel. They were handed over to the Red Cross on the third day of the truce. In return, Israel has freed a further 39 Palestinian prisoners. A 4-year-old girl who is part of the latest group to be released is an Israeli-American called Abigail Edan. President Biden has spoken of his joy that she's been freed and says what she endured was unthinkable. In a separate development, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made his first visit to Gaza since the start of the war with Hamas. He told soldiers there that Israel will continue until it wins. And tributes are being paid to Terry Venables, the former England, Barcelona and Tottenham manager who's died at the age of 80. Gareth Southgate has praised him as a brilliant man who made people feel special. And Gary Lineker says he was charming, charismatic, witty, but also tough.
Can iguanas really run that fast? Will the monkeys make their escape? How on earth do they even film this stuff? When you're immersed in the natural wonders of our planet, there's no feeling like live TV. However you're watching, a TV licence is your must-have pass to over 400 live TV channels, packed with facts you can't help talking about. And it also funds everything you love from the BBC, including live radio, like this.
Thanks for joining us on BBC 5 Live.
Are you ready to have your say? In the UK's biggest football debate, your teams, your views. Get ready. This is 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 5 Live.
Good evening. It's time for you to have your say about your team. It's 606 on 5 Live, taking calls on this one at Goodison.
Deep towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, what a goal! That is absolutely sensational from Garnacho. A bicycle overhead kick that found the top corner beyond the dive of Pickford to his left. That is stunning, and it has stunned Goodison Park. And it's Everton 0, Manchester United 1, and there won't be many better than that this season.
Well, I've got a question for you, Christopher. Have you seen a better one ever in the Premier League?
A question for you. Have you ever heard John Murray more excited than that? Brilliant commentary. Oh, the best ever Premier League goal. That has to be up there, but I'm thinking of Thierry Henry. Remember the one against Manchester United, where he flicks up and hooks it? Matt Letizia against my old team, Blackburn Rovers. Oh, it's a good debate, isn't it? That has to be right up there, but it's goal of the season, isn't it?
And the penalty, Christopher, the ref said a dive, gave a yellow card, then it was overturned by VAR. United scored the penalty. Correct decision?
I thought it was the correct decision, and I thought Ashley Young was lucky not to see the second yellow. Should have been sent off, but wasn't impressed with Manchester United in the first half, Rob. Second half, they were very good. The Garnacho goal was brilliant in the first half. Everton, though, missed chances, didn't they? It's been the story of their season a little bit.
Everton and Manchester United fans, the number to call is 08085 909 693. Earlier on, it was the battle for fourth place at, says White Hart Lane here, but at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Villa come forward, here's Watkins! Oh, he scores! Plays the 1-2 with Tielemans, and the finish is perfectly rolled into the bottom corner. Vicario stretches and can't get there. Ollie Watkins having the season of his life. He puts Villa in front. It's Tottenham 1, Villa 2.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Plus CL privacy notice. bbc.co.uk/5live.
So, Christopher, first call of the night is Stephen Warnock. Villa are up to fourth and amazingly are only 1 point behind Man City. They move above your Spurs. Can they get Champions League football next season?
Absolutely right, they can get Champions League football. Here's one for you. Are there any Aston Villa fans out there who actually dream that you can win the Premier League this season? Is it impossible?
Pardon?
Is that a stupid thought?
Yeah.
But I mean, they are so well organised. They are so impressive. Having said that, I thought Tottenham were unlucky today, Rob.
Villa Sunderland going to win the Premier League, Chris?
I don't think they will, but
Not a silly question.
They're in with a chance.
As for Spurs, Christopher, it looks like injuries could be stalling Big Ange Ball right now. 3 defeats in a row for your Spurs.
Keep time for your Spurs. I didn't see the first half. By all accounts, Spurs schooled Aston Villa. Should have been a few goals up. Villa equalised on half-time. The chances they created in the second half. Spurs fans must love what they're seeing under Ange Postecoglou. It's, performance-wise, it's all there. And when they get the big guns back, beware the rest of the Premier League.
Spurs and Villa fans, give us a call on 08285 99693. Elsewhere, Rangers drew with Aberdeen 1-1, and in the WSL there were wins for Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool. Just quickly on that Rangers game, Chris, what did you think? I seen you debate with Chris Boyd before the game. Yeah, interesting debate.
Yeah, he would sort of questioned how do I say this, Aberdeen's integrity when they play against Celtic, and then he denied it was when playing against Celtic, but he said they try harder against Rangers. Aberdeen fans, do you agree with that? Did your team try hard enough today? Rangers equalising with a late penalty, but if you're a Rangers fan, was that 2 points dropped or was that a point gained? We'll find out at the end of the season.
Whoever your club, we're here until just before 8 p.m. and the number to call is 08285 909 693. Earlier today we heard the sad news: the former Crystal Palace, QPR, Barcelona, Tottenham, Middlesbrough, Leeds and England manager Terry Venables passed away. He was a huge figure in British football, and I think, Christopher, you met him a few times.
Yeah, in the early 90s, he was a massive figure. You think about Tottenham winning the FA Cup under him. He took Paul Gascoigne to Tottenham, didn't he? Gary Lineker to Tottenham. The brand of football was always, a huge thing. I actually met him. Remember the agent Eric Hall, who was a close friend of Terry Venables. And I went to his club a few times, Scribes, on a Saturday night, had a bit of karaoke and whatever. But